What if I told you that you could fund a third of your ISA allowance or potentially more using someone else's money? Not your savings, not a loan, not a get rich quick scheme, someone else's money that's paid to you weekly for doing something you were going to do anyway. That's exactly what I'm going to show you today. For full transparency, I do put my own money into my investment accounts, don't get me wrong, but I've also discovered a fantastic weapon in the trading arsenal called options trading. And I'm not just using my own money to fund my ISA anymore. Here's the concept. I sell options premiums on stocks I want to own to the people who already own those stocks. They pay me a weekly premium to basically insure their positions. I'll collect that premium, I'll transfer it over to my ISA account, and I'll use that premium to buy the shares of that stock that I wanted to keep anyway, completely tax-free. And yes, I sell premium on the same tickers I want to own. The companies are quite literally funding their own purchase for me. Before you think this sounds too good to be true, stick with me for the next 10 to 15 minutes because I'm going to show you exactly how this works and how I'm doing it, what the options chain is looking like, and in plain English, the real numbers available on the specific stock I'm doing this on right now. The stock we're going to be looking at today is Zeta Global. They are listed on the New York Stock Exchange, fully ISA eligible, and in my opinion, the most underrated AI play in the UK right now. I'm Lawsy, this is OptionsBrit. Let's get into it. Before I say anything else, I just need to cover the ISA quickly because this is the engine that makes the whole thing work. Your stocks and shares ISA gives you £20,000 every single tax year inside that tax wrapper. Zero capital gains on profits, ever. Zero dividend tax, ever. Zero income tax on growth, ever. If Zeta doubles from here, and analysts already have a price target implying over a 54% upside from the current levels, every single penny of that gain inside your ISA belongs entirely to you. HMRC will get none of it. Now, one important thing to be upfront about, options trading can't currently be done inside of an ISA. The options side of this strategy happens in the general investment account. But with Robinhood UK offering both the general investment account and the ISA account inside the same app, transferring the premiums you've earned straight into your ISA takes seconds. The general investment account generates the income. The ISA protects the growth. Two accounts in one app, one incredibly powerful combination. For the next step, let me explain exactly how this works. And I'm going to use an analogy that every single person watching this should understand. Car insurance. You know how car insurance works. Someone pays an insurer a premium to take on the risk of something happening to their car. If nothing happens to that car during that year, the contract length in this instance, the insurer gets to keep that premium and they do it all again next year. If something does happen, the insurer has to pay out, but they price that risk in their favor from the start. That's exactly what I'm doing here, but with stocks. Zeta shareholders are worried that their stock might fall. They want insurance to mitigate any risk against that. So they pay me a premium to agree to buy their shares at a price that I'm happy with anyway. In this instance, I am the insurer. Their premium hits my account the moment the contract is agreed. Two things can then happen. Scenario one, nothing happens. Zeta stays above my agreed price. The insurance expires worthless. I keep every penny of that premium and I do it all again next week. Scenario two, the stock does fall below that strike price. Zeta drops to my agreed price and I buy those shares. But here's the thing, I wanted to own Zeta anyway. So I've just been paid to go shopping at my price, on my terms, with somebody else's premium in my pocket. I'm not a big technicals guy. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I can predict exactly where I think a stock is going. But what I do like to do, even for long-term investments, is chart out my buy zones. It's good discipline, especially when you're choosing your options strike prices. That's when this becomes particularly helpful. So this, guys, is my Zeta chart as of right now. I've marked out the three simple zones here. I've got the green zone up here between $19 and $22. This is my discretionary buying area. I'm happy to accumulate up here if the momentum is strong, and it could potentially be an area where I'd be looking to sell covered calls, but more on that later. The orange zone here, roughly around 1650 to 1750. This is my happy place for Zeta. If Zeta comes down here, I'm not panicking. This is where I'm shopping. The red zone. This is around 14 to 1550. I call this the selling a kidney zone. I'd be backing the truck up here, but I genuinely don't expect we see these prices again. However, in the current economic climate, who knows, right? Look, where we are today, 1784. This is sitting just above my happy place zone. So when I'm choosing my strike price, 17 isn't random. It's pretty much smack bang in the middle of the orange zone here, where I'd be completely happy to own the shares. But that's the whole point. I'm not selling the insurance at a price that scares me. I'm selling it at my place on my terms. And someone is paying me to do exactly that. For the record, based on current fundamentals and where I see Zeta going as a company, my personal price target is around $30 currently. Now, that's not financial advice, and the goalpost for me will move on that as well. That's just where I see Zeta at the moment based on what we know. Obviously, they will have future earnings calls. There will be future information. David Steinberg will release other information that's going to boost the stock. But for now, until things change, that's where I'm sat at, which gives us plenty of upside. Here we have it, the meat and potatoes. This is Zeta's option chain on Robinhood UK. Now, I know it looks a little bit complicated at first glance, but stick with me. I'm going to make this as simple as I possibly can. You'll see up in the top left-hand corner that we have Zeta's price right now, roughly around just over $18, which is great. It's broke the $18 mark in the pre-market. Looking good for today. I'm looking at an expiry date, you'll see, of this Friday. 4 days away, 5 days if you count today. My strike price of $17 is sitting just here, okay? So as a quick explanation, we have puts on this side, we have calls on this side. We will not be looking at the calls at the moment. We will be focusing on the puts. You will notice that we have a bid-ask spread of 0.34 and 0.38. The bid is what you would be paid. The ask is what you would buy, because you can both buy and sell options. We are options sellers in this occasion, so we will be looking at the bid column, the red column. Now, with Zeta trading above $18, that gives us over a full dollar of breathing room with our $17 strike price, our happy zone, remember, even more comfortable for today. See the bid-ask spread, 0.34, 0.38. A quick but important lesson. Don't just accept the bid. See the limit, 34, 38. We can change this over. Now, what I would suggest we do is we go somewhere higher on the higher end. So if we moved this up to the 0.37 to see if we got filled, you would accept that order at 0.37 and see if it went through. If it didn't work out that way, all you would simply do is come back to it, drop it from 0.37 down to 0.36 and try and fill it again, then 0.35. You wouldn't be going below 0.34, just wait for it to get filled. It will get there. The reason we do this is because a few extra cents per contract can add up, and it can be quite significant amounts, especially over weeks and months, okay? The other thing to notice here is that we're not just doing one contract, we're doing 5 on this occasion. So the estimated total here is $182.30. That's what we will be getting paid. That money hits our general investing account the moment this fills. Instantly, it's yours. Here's why I love Robinhood for these examples. You see here the collateral required, $8,500. So full transparency and no confusion to anybody. That is the maximum I could ever be asked to spend on this trade. Now, I know what you're thinking, $8,500. It seems like a lot of money to be tied up for a week. But let me put this to you in a different perspective. Do you understand dividend investing in an ISA? Have you played with dividend investing? Because Zeta pays no dividend. But tell me this, how many dividend stocks do you know that pay $182 a week on a 500 share position? That's $729 a month, roughly £575 over a full year, nearly £7,500. Now bear in mind, your ISA allowance is £20,000. You could fund over a third of your entire annual ISA allowance using someone else's money without touching a penny of your own savings. And if you like the stock anyway, if you're really going to buy it anyway, then having $8,500 sitting in 500 shares of Zeta shouldn't concern you in the slightest, especially when someone's just paid you to go shopping. They've paid you to go shopping. Just let that sink in. Another thing to be completely transparent about, the premium you've just collected in your general investing account is subject to capital gains tax in the UK. However, every UK taxpayer has a £3,000 annual capital gains tax allowance. If your total options profits stay under £3,000 for the year, you pay zero. And the shares inside your ISA, zero capital gains tax on those forever. Premium taxed potentially, growth protected completely. That's still an extraordinarily powerful combination. So why Zeta specifically? Because this strategy works on any optionable stock. My conviction in Zeta comes from the fundamentals. Let me share my favorite stat first. Net revenue retention is 128%. Now, what does that mean in plain English? Existing customers are spending 28% more than they were a year ago. This company isn't just finding new customers. Its existing customers keep buying more products. That's not a company whose growth is slowing down. That's a company whose best customers can't get enough. Now, everyone right now is saying AI is going to destroy SaaS companies. I think they're asking the wrong question. The right question is, who owns the data that makes AI actually work? Think of it this way. AI is the gun. Data is the ammunition. AI built an incredible gun, but without the right ammunition, it can't hit anything useful. Zeta has spent 17 years building the ammunition. 535 million consumer profiles globally, 1 trillion behavioral signals processed every single month. 85 to 90% of it proprietary as well. Nobody else has it. And now they've taken the data fortress and handed it to something called Athena, their AI agent built with OpenAI. That's not AI disrupting Zeta. That's Zeta turning AI into a super weapon. 18 consecutive beat and raise quarters, 44 of the Fortune 100 as customers already, revenue growing 30% year on year, NRR of 128%. It's a New York Stock Exchange listed company, fully ISA and SIP eligible, and my personal price target of $30. This is the one I want to own, and I want it to be funded by someone else's premium while I'm building my position. To finish this off, I want to talk about what happens if we do get assigned on Friday. What if Zeta drops below 17 and we do end up owning 500 shares? Is it a disaster? Absolutely not. In fact, we've just set a wheel in motion. See what I did there? Because with covered calls, the other side of this wheel, the other side of that chart, you don't just get paid once, you get paid twice. Stock appreciation and premium income. The income machine keeps rolling, the shares keep stacking in your tax wrapper. But that's for the next video. Let me leave you with this. Someone else's money funding your ISA, building a position in the most underrated AI stock in the UK right now. A third of your yearly ISA allowance could potentially be covered by premium income while you wait for $30. That's the plan. This isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a UK entrepreneur from Cheltenham who does his own research and shares exactly what he's actually doing. Always understand the risks before trading options. Options trading carries significant risk and is not suitable for everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, because next week we're getting into the other side of the wheel, and trust me, it's going to be good. We master the how so we can afford the why. Strategy is the tool, but the ultimate goal is family. Go buy back your time. The reason that we do this, the reason that we invest, is so as we can buy our life back. We are not slaves to society. I'm Lawsy. This is the OptionsBrit. Not financial advice, just OptionsBrit brilliance. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.